Warning, the following show features constructive opinions performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. The views expressed are ours and may differ from views of any other entity. Accordingly, the Tim Zabriskie Show and the producers must insist that no one recreate or reenact any conversation or activity performed on the show.
Can't finish the show in just one sitting? No problem. Listen to this and past episodes of the Tim Zabriskie Show on demand on all major podcasting networks, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and the iHeartRadio app. It's perfect for the ride home.
Share this podcast.
Haven't seen enough. He's standing up. Kidman's up top. Shooting star press.
Every time, Phil.
Okay, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house.
Oh,
bored.
there's Jay.
Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the motherfucker in the house bored and I'm bored in the motherfucker in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored. I'm bored in the motherfucker in the house bored.
Oh, who's that?
That's a Briscoe.
That's a Briscoe right there.
7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Shimmer!
Shimmer!
Okay, 2020, I don't like you, and I know you don't like me, but let's just put things aside, because I have a show coming up that I'm super excited for, and I cannot...
Oh, gosh. Breaking news here on the Tim Zabriskie Show.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special news bulletin. Dragons have come back from the Dark Ages. Fire-breathing dragons are burning down major cities. If you have a basement, please retreat there. Make sure that anything you have that is flammable, do not keep it by you or children. Make sure that you put it completely away from your shelter. We do not know how long they're going to last or why they're even back. We just know that they've turned the Empire State Building into their breeding grounds. Stay as far away from there as you can. That is the epicenter of dragon activity. Back to you.
Are you kidding me?
I've played Skyrim so much that this shouldn't affect me.
Should not affect him, Phil.
I mean, I'm Dova King, for God's sake.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Amazing.
You like that, Phil?
I love that one.
Tim Zabriskie here, back at it again with the brand new vid. We have a fantastic, a glorious, if you will, Wrestlemania edition show here for you guys. Phil, Wrestlemania is twice the size that it normally is, with half the viewers in the live audience. So we have a real interesting edition here of what we're going to talk about here. Phil, it's been so hard with the real world stuff to even be able to talk about WrestleMania and to really know what's going on. So I'm really going to need your help today. Because as with me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, the colonel, the president of wrestling, Mr. Phil Stamper, everybody. Oh, hi, Zach. Zach's tuning in. Remember when Zach gave that speech? Dude, what was the first thing that he said at the wedding when he gave that speech? Do you remember? This is my best man that we're talking about here. Do you remember? Yeah. When I first met Tim, I didn't like him. Instant applause. I kind of thought Tim was an asshole. Well, who's laughing now there, Zach? I guess everyone really was laughing when he said that. But
and you can hear me okay, right, Tim?
Oh, you sound fantastic. You want me to turn you up? You want to go up a little bit higher? Why? You're a little quiet. Talk.
Okay. Talk a little bit like this.
I mean, you're coming in.
Do I sound?
Oh yeah. Maybe turn your mic up a little bit.
Does that sound good? Tim?
Yeah. I guess. Phil, how are you? How's everything with you in the real world?
This is my real world.
This is it, everybody. All right.
Coming max headroom.
Yeah, Phil, it's funny. I've been working from home too, and the big joke that everyone's been saying is that Tim spent all this money making this huge studio here, putting up the sound foam and putting up lights and everything here.
Yeah.
And now that he's working from home, Phil, he's finally making some money in his studio. So it's fantastic, Phil.
Now am I blowing you out? Am I good?
Oh no, you sound good.
Awesome.
Coming in hot there, Phil. Not too hot though.
Okay.
It's PG-13-ish kind of show.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not offending our viewer.
Yeah. So Phil,
Hey Tim.
tell the people what we do here on the Tim Zabriskie Show in comparison to all the other professional wrestling podcasts that we have in the world.
We talk about actual things that are happening in the world of professional wrestling.
True.
We're not armchair booking. We are both from the wrestling business, and we speak from the heart about the business that we love.
Yes, we love this, but I was talking more about the game that we play here, Phil. What kind of games do we play here when we're doing the podcast here, Phil?
Tim and I have a little bit of a running bet, and that music is a little hot.
Is that music still playing for you, Phil? Oh, I'm
It
so
is
sorry.
still playing, Tim.
I'm sorry. It's not playing for the other people. So.
I thought you were like just
jamming.
Right. Like, wow, Tim.
It's actually been off for like 4 minutes now. I'm sorry.
I'm sitting here like dancing to it.
Phil, you get the thing is you have special audio privileges, so
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So Tim and I have an ongoing bet for every pay-per-view.
Ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful wife Rosa brought me some beers.
Filming a special across the hall.
Thanks. You got a round of applause here. All right, Phil, continue with what we do here.
So Tim and I run down an upcoming pay-per-view event. This case will be WrestleMania 36. Too big for one night, but
for
not
one
too
night.
big for this podcast.
But not too big for this podcast here, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And we then tally up who. After we make our predictions on each individual match, we tally up the overall wins, and whoever wins gets a point for the year. And at the end of the year, whoever wins, well, something happens to the loser.
Right.
We've kind of gone off the rails on that one.
We've
So
definitely gone off the rails here, but basically, Phil, this is how we were at the end of the last time that we met. Okay.
Yeah.
The whole thing is that I'm pretty certain that you actually won. Did you win the last pay-per-view that we had too?
I did, Tim.
Oh, okay, so real fast, we'll just we'll rectify that right here live on the show, just to let everybody know that we are fair here with the way that we do all of our rulings and everything. Phil is actually beating me really good, 3-1.
Thank you.
I guess we can also get rid of Mark Wahlberg because we no longer have a tie anymore. So.
Yeah.
So see you later, Marky Mark. And Phil. So it's a big show here, Phil. And I'm kind of calling this on the fly.
Well.
I mean, it's so big, Phil. We couldn't even do it in one night. So the whole thing for me is that do we do
double points?
Yes, I'm good with double points, because the other thing is they haven't necessarily said which match per se is going to be on which night.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, but now they're so smart, these guys, by doing this, because Phil, now they're going to have technically, like, even though they're
all main events, kid.
They really could have one main event of WrestleMania on the Saturday, another one on the Sunday. You know what I mean? And what also makes sense too that they're doing it this way as well, Phil, is the fact that everyone's fucking staying home anyway. What else are you going to do?
Right.
Phil, nobody really watches our podcast, but I feel like we're going to break some record numbers tonight.
Absolutely. And Tim, just to test my own bandwidth here, I'm also streaming live on Twitch.
Oh my stars. That's awesome.
Where I believe I have a viewer right now.
We have one viewer.
Hi on Twitch. Just to see, I'm testing out my bandwidth too, just to see what I can push where.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for watching. Hope you have as much fun as we are.
Absolutely.
Grab some alcohol.
Yes, please join us. It's Thirsty Thursday here.
This is the most amazing. I don't even know what kind of glass this is, but it is the most amazing, like double shot sized drink container ever.
Yeah, it's that thing's really nice.
Would this be a brandy sifter?
I guess.
Sifter.
So before we get started, got this little side banter, and feel free to join in with us if you want to. The line to the show here, 518-350-4312. If you're going to be listening to us on all your podcasting platforms, Phil, what are those podcasting platforms?
You can listen to us on the Google Play Store, the Apple Play Store, or excuse me, the Apple Podcast app, because that's a new thing. iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, anywhere you find great podcasts, you find The Tim Zabriskie Show.
Yes. But if you try to call in while listening to the podcast, it doesn't work that way, Phil. This isn't radio, okay? This is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and now Twitch. So if you want to call in, call the number 518-350-4312. But if you listen to us on the podcast, it's going to get ignored, Phil. And the only reason that I'm bringing this up, Phil, is because people fucking try to do this shit. All right? There's a reason there's a do not disturb on that thing is for people like that are like, oh yeah, well, I'm listening to the podcast.
This is, you know what? I've never actually looked it up because, you know, you put other people's phone numbers in your own phone and like save it as a name and you never look at the number again. This isn't your phone number. Is this like a Google Voice?
This is Google Voice, Phil.
All right. Thank
I'm not fucking around.
I was about to say.
I mean, if only Google was smart enough to like do like 800 numbers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then it'd be like, oh, 1-800, ba ba ba, ba 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 ba. But no, they don't do that. They wish they did.
Call Tim now.
Yeah, 1-800 Tim Show. Feel
what?
I mean, because you know it's 3 numbers and then 4. So I was trying to come up with the 3, which would be Tim, and then the 4 would be Show.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
they wouldn't give it to you.
Well, Google doesn't offer that. No. That was how we started the whole premise here, Phil.
Wow.
All right, Phil.
This is gonna be a fun night, Tim.
This is gonna be great. I got some vodka, got some booze. What are you drinking out of your little cup?
I have a bottle of Jim Beam honey.
Nice.
That I will be continuing my partaking of.
Whatever you guys are drinking at home, make sure you comment it down below and let us know what you're having here on this wonderful Thirsty Thursday edition of the Tim Zabriskie Show. Now, Phil, take a wild guess here on
double points.
What you think the very first show of match, but the very first match of this 2-night show is going to be for
WrestleMania.
I'm going to start with Otis versus Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, yeah.
Mandy Rose.
Fun fact here, Phil. Dolph Ziggler has been in the company for like 15 years or something like that. This is his very first singles match at WrestleMania.
That's amazing. I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Somebody pointed it out. And the problem here, Phil, is well, we'll get into it. But let's first start with the backstory, okay? How did we get here?
This has been building since Survivor Series when Otis and his tag team partner, Tucker, part of Heavy Machinery, teamed to face off against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. They were part of the Survivor Series kickoff pre-show in an interbrand tag team battle royal that was eventually won by Ziggler and Roode. About the same time, Otis entered into a interesting relationship with Mandy Rose. However, he ended up scheduling a Valentine's Day date with Mandy, but Ziggler showed up and stole the date away.
Oh, that was such a sweet visual too, because Otis really sold the shit out of that whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He really, I felt bad for this fat fuck. I really did. I really was just, okay. All right. But I'm telling you, he really did a great job making me feel horrible for this guy that really finally got the hot chick and she's sitting with fucking Dolphy Z, you know?
Right.
So I like it. I like how they've been building this for a while. Walt here seems to think that Dolph should be going to AEW Do you think that that's in the cards? I don't think so.
I don't. I mean, I think if he was only there now to just be talent and wanted more, I think he would have. I think he wouldn't have signed his last contract extension. And there's been plenty of talk for a long time that apparently he's so well liked by everybody.
Yeah.
And that he gets not just the in-ring product, but the product and the production of it, that he's being eyed for a possible agent spot once he gets to that point where he no longer wants to be an in-ring competitor.
Right.
So I think the sky's the limit. I think he would do amazing in AEW. And now he's saying he's being satirical. You have to own it, Walter. You have to own it.
Yeah.
But
I hope if Walt's being satirical, he's gonna stick around and he's just gonna say that everybody should go to AEW. and I feel like that's a good angle. Good angle, Walt. We like it. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with fucking getting paid. You know what I mean? Especially right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Think about that. I think about guys like Ryback, right? That Ryback was like, oh, I'm going to make all this money on the indies and stuff like that. And we don't have to dive all into that whole shit show. Right. But the whole thing is like, there's no fucking wrestling shows going on right now. How's your fucking nutrition deal going? You know what I mean? It's you're not really making a lot. Walt, should Ryback go to AEW?
Yeah.
But do you get what I'm saying? It's like it's like, don't fucking. I'm sure that motherfucker wishes that he was there right now. I mean, hey, Braun Strowman is out there saying that he's not getting paid because they're not doing shows right now. So yeah, I doubt that. I highly doubt that.
Right.
But I'm glad you brought this up, Phil. I'm glad that you brought this up. So one of the things that I did want to talk about now is that starting tomorrow, and because I dip into finance, right? On the for the 9 to 5. I do a little dabble here and there. You know what I mean? I do a little. You should go to In Your Face Wrestling. That's an old shitty New York Fed that used to be up here, Phil. So
wow,
that's why that's funny. That. Yeah. Not shitty. They used to book me, but but anyway. But I digress.
That might speak to their quality.
Oh, okay. Oh. Anyway. The whole independent contractor thing, and it really has gotten me thinking with these whole small business association loans that are getting kicked off tomorrow for companies that have 500 or less employees. Okay. Yeah. Now, and there's so much that we don't know yet. I mean, the loan applications really start tomorrow. It's basically payment protection for these companies so that they can keep paying their employees, okay, during this time where a lot of them are going to be out of work and everything like that. Now, do you think, and I have to really look this up, but what are the chances that something like this is the reason why WWE has kept everybody on an independent contractor sort of title so that they technically have less than 500 employees? That way they could qualify for this loan. You know what I mean? Because the whole stipulation with this loan is that after a certain amount of time, it turns into a grant that they don't have to pay back.
Right. My legalese on this is going to be everywhere because I am not a legal expert.
Right.
But there's so many different kinds of protections because, they're on television on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
They could maybe qualify for being in SAG or AFTRA, which are acting guilds. Well, because professional wrestling has always been looked at as this is a thing that's really happening that I'm watching. They didn't qualify. So even writers and creative didn't qualify for writing credits or directing credits. And that's been a little bit controversial too, but they also kind of fell under this weird you're an independent contractor status, even though you're exclusive and you can't work anywhere else without our permission. It's all over the place. It really just, here's your exclusive contract to be an independent contractor.
Right.
Which is one of the things that, when Punk had his rant when he was on the last time we heard him on the Colt Cabana podcast.
Yeah.
He said, I could just destroy the WWE with what I know about being an independent contractor. Well, that hasn't happened. Allegedly, and I don't know how much this has weight to it, David Starr, who's in Europe, has been blocked off 2 promotions saying that the WWE has told those promotions they didn't want him because he was trying to unionize wrestlers. And I don't know if I really buy that. I think David Starr has written his own epitaph.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like if Teddy Hart all of a sudden was like, they don't want me up there.
Right. Suddenly.
All of a sudden. Yeah.
Right. I mean, hey, when you've only been in Richmond, Virginia jail twice in the last 2 months, after your stint in Canada, I can't remember if something else happened down in the state. Like it. Yeah. Teddy, I'm sorry. Crazy. Just crazy. Anyway, Tim, we're going way off topic here.
Well, that was the point. I said I wanted to talk about something off topic, so here we are.
Right.
But it just really made me thinking, especially since the Small Business Association was run by Linda McMahon, and I thought she still was until you corrected me about that earlier today. But still, you know what I mean? Maybe that's why, things like this is that's what makes him a genius. And Walt says that Teddy Hart should go to AEW.
Honestly, two or 3 months ago,
maybe when he was showing up,
right? And that's just like one of the last times I saw him, in person. Like everything seemed fine.
Yeah, but then he turned into fucking Joe Exotic.
Right.
I actually think that he's been Joe Exotic for a while though.
He's Joe Exotic but with cats.
Oh yeah.
Kitty cat.
Teddy Kitty. Phil, what was that first match?
Otis versus Ziggler.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I think that Ziggler is gonna be putting over the big man here on the pay-per-view.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. And the reason why, Phil, and feel free to call in, let us know what you think. 518-350-4312. The reason why I think that Dolph is going to be putting him over is because he doesn't need it. You know what I mean? For everything that we're saying before, the guy's got millions of dollars at this point. The guy enjoys getting paid. He's well liked. He's a company guy. He's going to be there forever if he wants to be. And, Otis is the new bright young star. And, this is going to be the last match that they have together. And I think that Dolph will just go on doing something else. But as far as Otis, I think that they see money in Otis because he's a big guy. He can do the worm. You know what I mean? He's got some charisma and things like that. It makes way more sense for them to put him over in this sort of situation. Because with Dolph's a legacy kind of guy. Where do you go with him from there? Does he finally get that push to the world title? It's not happening. Phil,
right?
Thoughts?
So I disagree with you.
Oh,
wow!
I actually think this is a great time to put a heel over. Like, let it happen. Let Ziggler walk out like, ha ha ha! I got one over on you, stupid Otis. I honestly think that's how it's going to play out. All for the love and heart of Mandy Rose, who's going to do something to like trick Otis.
Wow.
He falls for it and she falls back into the arms of Dolph Ziggler.
So you think it's going to be like Christian and Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, where Trish Stratus came out and Trish Stratus really like turned fucking heel? Do you remember that whole deal?
Yeah.
You think it's going to be like that with Mandy Rose?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Give us a call. 518-350-4312. I'm totally going with the big man. They need a big, happy fucking like paper plate, spoon fed, like happy baby face moment. Shut up, Phil.
I didn't say it out loud, Tim.
Yeah. You just mouthed it. And Walt seems to think that Joe Exotic should also go to AEW.
It's going to be that kind of night, Tim. So, Tim.
Yeah, Phil.
Next, we have put together by your WrestleMania host, Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Why?
Okay, there's a whole big thing I'm going to get to in a moment on that. But let's go to the match. It's going to be Elias versus King Corbin.
Oh, okay. So Elias versus King Corbin. Now, I really like what these two guys are doing. You know what I mean? I really like Elias is a great fucking guy. You know what I mean? I really like he's taken that character to way farther than I think that they thought it was going to go. You know what I mean? with what he did at the Royal Rumble, with him coming out to Brock, really making that moment really about him when that's normally about Brock. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
doing that, and I don't know. The guy's just money. It's gonna be funny for him to play. Phil, are we gonna get him playing in the empty arena? In the empty fucking WrestleMania arena?
That would be amazing.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna get interrupted. Now, who's he going up against?
King Corbin.
King Corbin. Now, when did one of these guys turn face? Give us that information.
I mean, let's face it. Elias has always been liked by the crowd, and now that they don't have one, he's going to be face. So basically, what ended up happening, Rob Gronkowski, who is left football for the world of the WWE. Not so coincidentally, this week on Fox leading into WrestleMania, he was unmasked on The Masked Singer to be, spoiler alert, to be the lion or tiger, whatever it was, big giant tiger.
Right.
So very coincidental that he was unmasked a few days before he's going to be the host of WrestleMania 36. It's a little weird. So way back now.
Yeah.
On March 20th, Rob Gronkowski was being celebrated as being the host of WrestleMania. He's out there with his good buddy
Mojo Rawley. Yeah, exactly.
Corbin got into his face. Mojo and Rob Gronkowski trip him over. They make fun of him and then set up the match that it's going to be Elias and King Corbin.
Okay, cool.
Long story short, I know there was other shenanigans, but
Fuck.
That's legit.
The problem, though, is even though we're naming this as going to be in the second match on the 2-night event, I still feel like this has fucking pre-show written all the fuck over it. This is bullshit, this match.
But they love... The WWE loves King Corbin.
Yeah.
And just like for Bray Wyatt, we've seen for years and years, they don't necessarily like Elias, but Elias is one of their most over people.
I know. Yeah.
So put one of your most over people with one of your most hated people, which means you can get a lot more heat out of that for your most over heel.
Exactly.
Which King Corbin is.
Yeah, but I guess so.
With the power of the Gronk behind him, Elias takes off.
Gosh.
I'm so glad you're up that way. I mean, I know you're not in like deep in New England territory. You're in New York.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm so glad that you aren't just full in on the Patriots train.
No. I'm very more pro wrestling in the sense where, like, if you're going to be a football player, cool. Be a fucking football player. But I don't know. Don't take that fucking name brand and come out and do a fucking entrance like this, Phil, where it's like, or whatever the fuck he did when he came out. I don't know
what the hell.
All right.
But you know what? Watching him on The Masked Singer, he was the same.
I know I sound and I look like fucking Jim Cornette right now, but Tim Cornette doesn't want to put up with any of that shit. Okay. That's the truth. I
was going to try to do a Jim Cornette impression. And I realized it was going to be coming out as Jim Ross. So never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But do you get what I'm saying, though? It's just like, fuck.
Oh, I totally do.
You know what I mean? And the fact that I know they're friends in real life, Phil, but the fact that they're really pushing Gronk and Mojo Rawley as having like an on-screen friendship, it's like, okay, why don't we fake it a little bit? Like Diesel really trained Lawrence Taylor for that WrestleMania match, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's do something like that. You know what I mean? Let's put it like, I don't know, John Cena. Fuck, they're both from Boston. Why wouldn't we say that John Cena took some time out of his busy schedule to start the training for Gronkowski?
Oh, because John Cena's doing other things.
But that's why I prefaced it. Okay, Phil. This is why people want to believe it. You're right. You're right, Phil. Thanks. Thanks for totally debunking what I was thinking right there, by saying that.
Why would anybody buy that John Cena would lower?
Where is John Cena originally from, Phil?
I get it.
He's from. Okay. See, if you get it.
He's from Worcester.
Gosh, he's from Worcester. He's right by Lowell.
And his father, John Cena Sr.
That motherfucker. Phil, I did this show, and John Cena Sr. was like, "Yeah, you'd be great if you were a lot taller." And it was like, "Oh, okay."
Thanks, man.
You'd be a lot more famous if your son was better. I don't know. Not saying not anything against John Cena, but John Cena Sr., fuck you. All right? How about that? Catch me outside.
And in show.
Yeah. And now. All right. Yeah. So for this match here, Phil, who do you have going over?
I am going to go with Elias.
You're going to go with Elias.
I'm going to kind of go on a flip from what I said before. This is the match. Give it to the good guy. Just bury and make fun of King Corbin. Half point bet for me that Gronk is involved.
Okay. I like it. But at the same time, Phil, for the reasons that you said, I'm going to have to go against you. I'm going to have to go with King Corbin because they're really riding that King Corbin train. You know what I mean? I see big things for King Corbin coming up in this year. You know what I mean?
On the boogie woogie choo
yeah,
choo.
He's fucking. They're like, oh, let's ride that fucking King Corbin train all the way to fucking SummerSlam. You know what I mean? I could see them fucking on Monday. Because the night after WrestleMania is like the biggest night of the year. The crowd is crazy and things like that. Even though this year, Phil, I don't know how crazy they're really going to get considering there is no crowd, right? But at the same time, they could fucking put the belt right on him on Monday. We don't know. We don't know.
This is such a unique period. I mean, and for those of you, if you're watching at a different time than when we're watching this, and recording this and don't have any idea, like, why are they being so weird? And what are they making all these jokes about a crowd? Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, there is.
Phil, do you think that people in a different time zone don't know what the coronavirus is?
I mean, not like,
what?
Put it this way. We put it online. Hi, Nicole.
Oh, it's Nicole. Nicole loves you too, Phil, by the way. She always calls me now. She's like, hi, Tim.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
So what I mean to say is, this is going online. Let's say in 10 years from now, somebody looks up, who was that Tim Zabriskie guy before everybody else knew who he was?
Yeah.
And they find this video and they're like, why are they making these jokes? So of course we all know by now that there is no crowd.
Oh, okay.
36.
Phil's doing this for the future
historical posterity.
Yeah, he's doing this for the corona boom of children that we're gonna end up getting.
You think we're playing?
This is a real thing, Phil. It's been documented.
Right. It's gonna be a thing.
Yeah. Now I'm just waiting for Walt to write Corona boom children should go to AEW.
I mean, they are.
Yeah. They probably will.
Right.
So anyway.
Now you've got me totally off track. But
I said King Corbin.
With having no crowd, does change that dynamic. You're not dealing with the live crowd, even though Vince has always turned a blind eye to what the live crowd was doing. Anyway, now that this is strictly going to be an online product, a televised product with no live crowd, you can tell the story you want. And I think that gives so much flexibility. Like you said, Monday night, which is come to understand, I believe, has pretty much already been filmed.
Yeah, because fuck it, Phil. Like, why not? They don't they don't, you know what I mean? They should just send everybody home.
And a lot of things that, we may talk about tonight have been rumored. I don't think there's been anything that's confirmed except for one thing that we'll talk about later about one guy who has dropped out because he's stated it and Triple H has stated it publicly. But,
even though they kept promoting it, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah,
they were still promoting it Monday.
And no, they promoted it. They're probably going to promote it tomorrow's pre-tape show too, but
maybe we'll see.
So stick around to find out who we're talking about.
Right. In the future.
In the future of 20 minutes from now. All right.
So, it gives them so much flexibility. Is something on night one going to impact night two? What happens on Monday? And now even more than that, as of yesterday, I believe it was, or maybe 2 days ago, Florida now has a stay-at-home order, which means that the WWE can't even use the Performance Center to film stuff.
What? Really?
So, yeah, it's gotten very, very restrictive. So now, the future of what is the WWE going to look
Which
like?
is probably why they pre-taped it, because people were bitching that they were going to pre-tape it, but that's probably the exact reason why.
They probably had a good sense that this was going to come.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be very honest. A couple weeks ago, when all of this was starting to get hyped up and talked about, and we kind of knew it was coming. I mean, I'm part of an emergency operations group where I work.
Right.
And so we were talking about this in January, and then even at the height of 2 weeks before we actually shut down, we're like, it's not going to be that big a deal.
Yeah. I was that cynical about this too. I mean, even things today, I can't believe how rapidly things are changing. You know what I mean? Like when I first started at my job, I was working at a spot that had been with, like, the actual physical location had been with the company for, I don't know, fucking 20 years or some shit like that, right? Even maybe longer so. And at the same time, all I heard about was like, oh, disaster recovery. And it was like these boxes that we had there that were like, you're essentially just, you're dusting off, you're wiping off the top of the boxes because you didn't really have to worry about any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Probably not since
what could possibly go wrong.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Whatever. And then all of a sudden here we fucking are. You know what I mean?
Right. So, and as rapidly as things were moving 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I thought there was going to be a domestic travel ban, that you weren't going to be able to cross state lines, that you'd have to have some legitimate purpose. I had a family member who was from out of town visiting here in Maryland, and it was like, you might want to go home because you might not be able to go when you were planning.
Yeah. They're also doing it too, so that, like, they're putting, it's not so much a restriction, but they're basically saying that if you are in New York City right now and you have like a summer home in upstate a little bit or anything like that, they're not letting you fucking go. You know what I mean? In my town of Saratoga here, you can't, they just made it so that if you, the parks are closed off, and if you're not social distancing, they're going to give you a ticket, Phil. I didn't realize that we were in fucking 40s Germany. But that's apparently what we're doing here.
Let's be fair, because this is how some of this started. As we first started as a country to talk about social distancing, people looked at it as a vacation. They went to the beach en masse.
Right.
The county over from me last Friday night, before Maryland issued its formal stay-at-home order, Friday night he has a 60-person barbecue. And please come over and
fucking asshole.
Like, dude, he's like, dude, you need to shut it down.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, yeah, exactly.
Right. And he does. Sunday night, I think it was Sunday night, he does it again.
Oh my gosh.
More people this time. They asked him to shut it down. He says yes. He doesn't shut it down, so they arrest him and issue him a misdemeanor.
And then he's fucking crying about his rights, right? Like some sort of asshole.
And that's what all of this
fucking
is about.
Liberal. I'm kidding.
But then you have the opposite side of the spectrum, where now churches are suing the government to say, you're impinging my religious freedom because you won't let us hold church service. And so I'm just like, I'm slack-jawed that people would want to push that button at a time of a worldwide pandemic.
Exactly.
This isn't like, holding you back because we don't agree with your faith. It's
no,
it
has nothing to do with that. The whole thing is that the problem here, Phil, is that this is the real thing that we're going through right now. And it's hard for a lot of people to really understand it, because it hasn't reached the point where you personally, not you, Phil, but the generic yous out there don't know someone personally that has this virus or has died from this virus, because they're not coming up with these numbers out of fucking nowhere. And as soon as maybe it becomes real to you, maybe you'll start to realize, you know what I mean? But the problem is that, and until then, a lot of people aren't taking this seriously. Do you think they're sending us home to work because it's a fucking vacation? No. You think they're doing it because they don't want to see you? No. They're doing it so that you chill out, you stay home, and as a country, Phil, we can kick this thing. Just like we kicked Obama out 4 fucking years ago, Phil.
But damn, this is where the lizard people and the Illuminati start building those underground bunkers. Like, I have heard the gambit of people who believe it, and this is going to be.
They believe what? They believe
just
what?
That this is okay. The governor of Iowa will not issue a stay-at-home order. He feels, oh, we've done enough by saying social distancing. We don't have enough cases. I think Texas is doing the same thing. And Mississippi's done the same thing. And it's like, and some of them have gone on the record by stating this is a liberal conspiracy against Donald Trump. That's what some of these church leaders have said. It's crazy. But, and I will say it. I have a friend. I was great friends with this person in high school. We've sort of are not as close. You'll find out why in a second.
Why is he going to WrestleMania?
Well, she kind of went to the far right, like, let's join the Tea Party exercise. Like 4 months before Obama got elected, she was passing out Impeach Obama shirts. Like, that's how active she was. And so she didn't buy into any of this, thought this was all hype. Because exactly what Donald Trump said. Oh, this is all spin from the opposite party.
Yeah.
And so she didn't believe it. Well, guess what? Her father ended up on a ventilator. Her brother-in-law is now on a ventilator. She believes now. And that's horrible to say. I hate saying that, but it is the truth of what happened. And now she's like, I defy anybody to say that this isn't real. That this isn't a real thing. And now, you're hearing more voices of people going, we should have been doing something. And actually the mayor of Tampa Bay has come out, and people, I will say, like, I think it was CNN was trying to bait her a little bit, because right before she went on the air, the governor of Florida did say, okay, we're going to do a stay-at-home order. And they try to get her to say, like, was this too late? He should have done all these other things. And she didn't go after him. She was like, that was an amazing step he took. That was the right step. That's a really hard decision to make. She didn't go against, like, saying anything, because this was not a time where this should be the divide. This should be the point where we're really working together, because it's a public health crisis.
Yeah. This is a horrible situation.
Right. And we're talking about wrestling, Tim.
And we're talking about wrestling. Yeah, exactly.
So Tim.
Phil.
Aleister Black.
Talk about a ventilator, am I right? Phil, I had to have a fucking segue, all right? You brought us all down. I was trying to bring us back up. I didn't know how else to do it. Aleister Black.
With versus Bobby Lashley with Lana.
Okay. Didn't they just fucking throw this match together and said, fuck it. Fuck you. 2 nights of
WrestleMania.
Isn't that how this match came together, Phil?
So on the official description on WWE.com.
Yeah.
Tim, you called it. A rivalry nobody saw coming.
Yes.
This is in the official description.
Yeah.
While the two have had little to no interaction of late, they make perfect sense as opponents.
Yeah.
Black has made it clear in recent weeks that he's no longer willing to wait for fights to come to him. Likewise, Lashley has reintroduced himself in a major way.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So it's a match.
Roy wrote in the comments
a match.
that he's about to give up on wrestling. Yeah, I mean, right, Phil? I mean, Roy. Yeah, we'll see you next month when the network subscription comes out. But I feel you on that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Phil, make sure everybody likes, subscribes, and shares too while you're here hanging out.
Hi,
with
everybody.
Us. Yeah, hi. How are you? Wherever you're watching us at home.
For me, the thing about this is really that the WWE, at least the creative side, loves Bobby Lashley. And we kept saying that the perfect opponent for a Brock Lesnar is another guy at that tier, physicality wise, with an MMA background. Look at Bobby Lashley, but he's also not necessarily the top kind of agile guy in the ring. And it just, I don't know if it's translated. So they put him into this relationship angle with Lana instead, derailed sort of everything he was working on. Allegedly creative, and Vince loved everything he was doing, all the Lana stuff with Rusev.
Yeah,
like they absolutely adored what he was doing.
Yeah, because they're into that taboo fucking sexual shit is what that is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And so now,
we're not talking about fucking the cleanest of PG Disney fucking loving people. We're talking about wrestling, Phil.
Right. I mean, we're not at the Sable ripping off bras with a pasty. We're not there.
No.
Well, then again, this could be on pay-per-view. So, hey.
Can you believe they're fucking charging $50 a night on Fox for this shit? Fuck you.
And
fuck
for the first time,
you.
This is also available on Fight TV.
That's weird.
Yeah.
How much is that? How much is that going? Write it in the comments below for how much that's going. All right.
But yeah, it is. It's so weird to think about all the things that are happening right now. And if you look at ESPN and Fox Sports, they've been running older WrestleManias. They've been running. I believe the Royal Rumble was on this afternoon.
Yeah.
Just for content right now because there's no content.
Yeah. Well, Phil, at the same time, you know what I mean? And in the way the economy is, what are you going to do if you have all this fucking like video stuff that's just kind of sitting there? You're fucking going to sell that shit. You know what I mean? Because the people that didn't get to watch that special attraction.
So according to Fight TV, you can get the official pay-per-view live stream package for $60. So both pay-per-views for $60. Which again, or do you get the WWE Network for
free?
For free for your first month.
And you cancel before the fucking billing comes out. You know?
And I mean, this is the time of year that typically the WWE does get a lot more money for this buy of this pay-per-view.
Exactly. So and that's not anything outside of saying that it's their biggest fucking show. If you look at their stock trends too, because I have every once in a while I'm like, should I buy some of that stock? You know what I mean? Just to be a fucking mark. But at the same time, it's like this, you don't buy it right now. You know what I mean? You wait until September and then you buy it then.
I'm not gonna lie, when stocks tanked, was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I may have put in $250 more into my stock portfolio.
Right.
So I was like, this is the best time to buy because when it comes back up. But regardless of that,
their stock though, honestly, like for me, it's just it's like because I just want to buy it as a mark, but at the same time, it doesn't make any sense to buy it because it's never gonna have. They're never gonna do anything to where the stock is gonna be valued at $200 a share. It's always gonna, be around like $80.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And who knows in the future if there was some talk about ESPN buying the rights to certain pay-per-views, maybe not just possibly to show on their network, but also to show on ESPN Plus. And that maybe even as exclusive content, meaning like, oh, you pay an extra $20 and you get WrestleMania. And ESPN didn't want to pay the price that Vince wanted them to. It's apparently not a no, but a no for now.
Well, it's all leverage for him because Vince right now is all fucking XFL. So if he can sell off some of this to get the XFL on these platforms, which he did, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's all working together. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's really what it comes down to.
And Roy, don't give up on wrestling.
Don't give up.
Roy, don't give up.
Don't give up.
It is sometimes a challenge and a walk, and right now we're in a very difficult time. And at least there is some kind of something on television with wrestling. We are fortunate in some of that respect. I mean, you see a lot of companies putting out older events or older matches just to like, hey guys, we're still here. Here's content for you at a very difficult time when people are starving for something to do, something to watch. So, the WWE is giving us something. And this is not the star-studded spectacle that we thought we were going to get in one night in Tampa. Because now, Tim, it's too big for one night.
Yeah, too big for one night, Phil.
So now all weekend this weekend, you have wrestling content that's going to come at you. So, Tim, I go back to you. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley.
Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley, Phil. I watched an Aleister Black match on TV the other night, and I liked it. I think he's good. I think the guy's got it. But at the showcase of the Immortals, Phil, in front of
Immortals,
I don't know what is going on with my tongue today, Phil. I don't know if I'm just parched. But at the showcase of the Immortals, Phil, in front of a live crowd of 7 crew members, the whole thing is gonna break down to Rusev coming back for half a point, Phil. Half a point here. All right. Rusev coming back and screwing Bobby Lashley out of the match to get that year-long revenge. Aleister Black going over. Phil?
This is where you and I disagree. I'm going Bobby Lashley.
Oh, okay.
That there is still might be this sense of, hey, we have bigger plans for him ahead.
Mm-hmm.
We've put him through this weird several months. It's time to move past Rusev. Bobby Lashley goes over.
Well, my thing here, Phil, is that I'm on the same page that maybe they're going to do something with the guy, but they got to get him away from the whole Lana thing. It's like it's like the that ex-girlfriend that's still fucking calling. You know what I mean? That angle itself. So to separate that whole thing, Lana's got to leave him. Lana's got to go. See you later. Take care, girl with the blonde hair. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's got to go. But in order to do that, Phil, Rusev's got to come back. And everybody at home is going to pop when they hear that Russian music. You know what I mean? Because he hasn't been on TV, right?
Mm-mm.
They've been holding him.
He's been off TV. There's been rumors about... Where's Walter with this one? Because there have been rumors about Rusev's going to go to AEW. I'm not buying it at all.
No. Because he's not going to be able to use that name.
Right.
What are they going to give him another generic fucking,
Vesser. It'll be Rusev backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not going to work, Phil.
And then Lana would still be under contract. Yeah. So
it doesn't work. And he obviously wants to stay with his wife. But who do you guys have going over in this match? 518-350-4312 or write in the comments down below. Let us know who you got. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share wherever you're watching this video. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Phil, what's the Twitch handle for that?
You can watch it on twitch.com/PSPhenom. That's PSPHENOM.
Fantastic stuff here. All right, Phil, let's what do you got for the next match here?
Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship.
Totally forgot that Women's Championship has been around, Phil, ever since they put it on the women from Australia, Phil. I totally forgot that. Yeah, the Iconics, who I fucking love, that Billie Kay. I think you gotta be joking me. I think that's such a sweet line. And as soon as they gave them the belts, Phil, they told them to go home. And then we hadn't seen them since until they lost the belts, right? Isn't that basically what happened?
It feels like it.
Yeah. And then I think Alexa Bliss said, yeah, I hope that we do something with the belts. And then did they put the belts on them? Is that what that was? She had an interview where she said, oh, I hope we do something with those tag team championships and as a company. and then they put the belts on them.
There were a few different transitions between them because Bliss and Cross were the champions at one point. The Kabuki Warriors beat them at Hell in a Cell. Bliss then was out of action for a little bit due to an injury. When she came back and teamed again with Cross, it seemed like they were targeting for the tag team championships again. So now they are set to face off again because at WrestleMania it's too big for just one night, Tim.
No, Phil, it's got to be 2 nights because what else are we going to do? Anything else?
I'm still allowed to take a walk outside as long as I don't go near anybody.
Yeah. It's just too much. Right. I don't listen, all my friends are going to laugh. Any of my friends that are watching this right now, because Phil, I love just hanging out at home. You know what I mean?
Right.
like it's fine. But even for me, Phil, I've had enough of this fucking home shit. I'm ready to go somewhere for like an hour. No, more than an hour. That's the problem. Right. I can go outside and walk around my development twice, and then it's like, oh, okay, that's it.
Like, I need to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And so I have not shared this with you. Well, I am technically immune compromised. I already have asthma, so that's a thing. But I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. My asthma is relatively light. I can deal with it. But I'm on a medication for my stomach that actually lowers my immune response.
Oh, fantastic.
And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, wait a minute. It might not be good for me to be outside when there's a pandemic.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So,
not, Phil, we need you here. Sirius,
I'm taking some precautions. I'm gonna take some precautions, but
Sirius and that fucker Conrad have both been calling. They want us, Phil. You can't go dying on me yet. All right.
Yet. Wait a minute. We have to be there first, and then I can die.
Phil, that's how you get famous, okay? We all know the Tim Zabriskie show is only going to get big after posthumous, all right? Everyone's going to be like, fuck, that guy was so ahead of his time. Why do you have to die like that? Why do you have to get addicted to Skittles? It's the only hard drug I do these days, Phil. Hard candy. I've actually never done hard drugs, Phil, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, so Bobby Lashley. We're moved on from him, right?
We've moved on. We're Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss.
All right, Phil, who do you got?
I feel that they're. Part of me is like, I want them to keep it on the Kabuki Warriors. I feel like this title is just going nowhere except in circles. So give it to Nikki and Alexa. I think they'll have a little bit more fun with the championship. I really feel that we never really got the Asuka singles run that many people wanted. Let her be a singles heel and let her dominate. Let it be her time now, the way it should have been when she first got in the WWE.
Yeah.
And Kerry's no slouch either. So let them both have a tremendous singles run and let Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross carry that championship.
Yeah. I hear you. I mean, it definitely makes sense because I'm going to go with you on this one, Phil. I definitely think that they should put it on Alexa and Nikki Cross. You know what I mean? However, now that I said that verbally, I'm starting to think here, Phil, that what if
no takesy backsies? I'm kidding.
What if here, Phil? Hypothetical situation. What if this is going to be the big breakup between Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss? Because I don't know. Every other relationship that Alexa Bliss has had has been broken up. You know what I mean? She usually turns her back on the person, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And I know that she's been trying to really stay loyal. And I'm talking about with who, like Nia Jax, Tamina Snuka. Why can't I talk, Phil? What is happening to me? I talk every day, make phone calls all day long, and all of a sudden I come to the one thing that I want to do is this friggin' show.
You are slightly imbibing, Tim.
Inviting? I'm inviting?
Imbibing.
What is imbibing,
alcohol.
Phil?
You're partaking of alcohol.
Gotcha. And I'm physically exhausted too, Phil. So there's that as well.
Right, there could be that.
My back hurts, Phil. You know when we were younger and I'd be like fucking diving and shit like that, and they were like, "Oh, you better be careful. You're gonna hurt yourself one day." Today is that day, Phil. I am in pain on a regular basis now.
I realized after I had my neck surgery, I was like, you know what? You can kind of see the scar now. For some reason, it's really red today. I had this moment where I was like, you know what? I'll be fine. I'll actually get some rest.
It's cool.
I'll be able to like recover from all these other nagging little injuries that I have. I'll be fine.
Yeah, Phil, I can't even lay in a fucking bed without my back hurting.
You know what? I am right there. It as time progressed, I felt like I'm getting worse, not better. What's going on? And I'm really like, I think my body got so used to getting so beat up for so long that the turtle shell that was my back is just no longer together anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I made a comment today on my social media about like, if I was looking at an in-ring return, let's say in September, who would want to face me? And in my brain, I'm like, yeah, but there's no bumps.
Yeah.
It's
you're
all
like
good. It's all chaining, all submission holds.
The only person you should be wrestling in September is the wheelchair, Phil. I mean that in the nicest way. I don't know how that is, but it's the nicest way possible.
How bad is it that I saw a Facebook ad pop up for like this weird looking walker, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks kind of, oh God. Like I was actually interested in looking into the walker.
Yeah, exactly.
We're in that point in life, Tim.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Tim,
Phil,
are you saying Kabuki Warriors or are you saying Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross?
I'm going to go with Kabuki Warriors. I think that my theory is good on this one. They're going to win. Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss are going to break up right at that moment.
Okay.
Whoa, Phil. Here's what just popped in my head. What if it's Nikki Cross, though, that turns her back on Alexa Bliss? How about that, Phil?
Wow.
How about that turn of events? They lose the match.
I would like that, actually. I would like that.
How about that? They turn, you know what I mean? Kabuki Warriors win. They're leaving with the belts. Alexa Bliss is down. Nikki Cross puts her in an armbar. I don't know. What's her finish? What does she do?
I'm not even sure, to be honest.
Yeah, she puts her in an armbar. Chris Jericho style, number 74.
Right.
Classic. All right, Phil, how many more matches do we have? Because we got to break this up somehow. And I really think that on night 1 of this WrestleMania, the main event of that show is going to be The Undertaker versus AJ Styles.
We have 14 more matches, Tim.
14 more matches, Phil. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Are we going to make this podcast a 2-parter?
Let's just keep going, Tim.
Let's just fucking keep going. I don't care. I got more beers upstairs. I ain't afraid.
Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, and it's all about turf. You move to the Performance Center where both of them got their teeth in the WWE.
Oh
both of them former
is this the stupid
champion.
Is this a real angle, or is this you just coming up with this?
This is a real angle.
Oh, fuck them.
And again, I'm looking at at WWE.com because now I'm really curious to the language that they're using.
Yeah,
and
I love it.
Basically, the long story short is there couldn't be a better predestined opportunity. Once WrestleMania was moved to the Performance Center, it was time to defend their home turf. It's basically saying that. That's so good. Because they will never get over, apparently, the shadow of being in NXT, though they've been on the main roster for years.
For years, Phil. Phil, talk for me.
So both of them.
That's not what I wanted. I wanted some reverb.
Oh, you wanted
I wanted
voice.
Unless you have your own effects, Phil. I'm trying to hook you up. Oh.
I don't, Tim.
All right.
My own effect is my voice, Tim.
Let's try this one. Phil, we'll go.
WWE returned, will defend their home turf. Kevin Owens.
What is that noise?
I hit my microphone when I picked up my glass.
Jesus.
I've only spilled a little bit on my laptop too. It's fine.
It's okay.
We're fine. It's all fine.
That's there's another podcast that I used to be a fan of that they would just do indie shows, but then their catchphrase, it was Wrestle Fudge. You ever hear about that podcast?
I think I did, yeah.
But they would always say #everything's fine for everything. I always popped for that. These guys are cool.
I think you were around when my catchphrase was just wrestling.
Yeah, that's it.
Wrestling.
So, and did you know, Phil, side note real fast, that on Spotify, they have all the sweet fucking WWE songs, from that they would use for different promos and stuff like that. Did you know that?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
No,
so for instance here, if I were to play like this one is when the cage is being lowered. Do you remember this
nice.
one? Yeah. So if you want to, and I kind of do, I want you to fucking do the whole thing. All right, do it with the read the description for the match. Ready?
Well, I'm making it up in my brain. So okay, hold on.
In a world where COVID-19 has canceled everything, the WWE brings you WrestleMania 36 in a presentation that is too big for just one night. And as they move to the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, two men come together to defend their home turf as former NXT champions Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens go one-on-one for their honor.
Yes.
Even though they've been on the main roster for years and they were both former Universal champions.
All right, enough. But Phil, fantastic job on that. Freaking killed that. Good stuff.
At the same time.
Good stuff. I think we got a clip out of that for the promotional material.
There you go.
Yeah, cool.
In a world.
I'm really gonna have to go back and rip that. I think you nailed it on that one. All right. So at the same time, Phil, Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. Fuck. I don't even know, Phil. Who do you think is gonna go over in this one?
I feel like Kevin Owens for a minute has been sort of on the back burner, and I really don't know why. Like, I feel like he hasn't had that front stage presence that he had for a while.
Right.
And I don't know what that's about. I really don't, because everybody, from my understanding, seems to love Kevin Owens. So I don't think it's an issue of not liking him. I mean, he was out for a while because of an injury, but now he's been back for several months. Seth Rollins now has done this heel turn. He's teamed with Akam and Razor. I knew I was going to say the name wrong. So it's sort of like, will it be then a numbers game turning against Kevin Owens? Will we see the dark side of Kevin Owens return? I am leaning a little bit more towards we're probably going to see Seth Rollins walk out with a WrestleMania victory.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. I know you picked this to be on night 1, but I kind of feel like this would be a good little curtain jerker for night 2. You know what I mean? That it doesn't matter, but at the same time, it's kind of like because I kind of see that spot very similar, or this match very similar to the Randy Orton Seth Rollins spot from WrestleMania 30. You know what I mean? So it's kind of I kind of see it there, but at the same time too, Phil, like we don't fucking know. So but to see who's going over in that whole thing, it's really hard to tell. I mean, who do you guys think? Give us a call, 518-350-4312. Phone lines are open here.
Unless you're listening to this on a podcast, don't call if you're listening to the podcast.
If you're
seeing live on a video stream.
Yes. If you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch.
You know what? Don't call us. I don't want you to call us.
You know what? Don't call us. Little reverse psychology, Phil. I like it.
Now you wonder why I did it.
So going back to my theory, though, if it's the curtain jerker spot on night 2, Phil, Seth Rollins did lose that first one against Randy Orton, right? Even though it's completely different and everything like that. I think that Seth Rollins is going to go over with you, Phil. All right. I think that it's the only match that makes sense, especially for
double points.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's what it is, Phil. You know, I'm at a loss for words here on a talking show, Phil. It's kind of next match. Yeah. What do you guys think?
So who are you picking? You lost.
Seth Rollins, Phil.
You want Seth Rollins?
I'm going Seth Rollins.
Next match is a tag team match for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships, as the champions, the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, defend against Angel Garza and Austin Theory with Zelina Vega. Austin Theory in his second ever WWE match.
And is booked on
WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah. Now make their way to WrestleMania for the tag team championships. Both of them are stand-ins.
What? They're stand-ins? What do you mean?
They're because basically they're both taking the place of Andrade. So initially Andrade was hurt. Garza stepped in. Then Garza and Andrade became a tag team because of that. And now Andrade was not hurt before he storyline was injured and then had to step away due to a wellness violation.
True.
So then him and Garza were teaming together. Now he's out on injury again. And now Austin Theory comes up from NXT to join this tag team match. Austin Theory has been shotgunned by the WWE. They were showcasing him when he was in Evolve. And there's this interest that the WWE has in him that it could propel him. At the same time, we got a tease of this match the other night. And Austin Theory missed a dive that he was supposed to catch. And so not sure where that leaves him. I mean, again, things happen. Odd placement.
Andrade's definitely coming back. That's where that leaves
Andrade.
That leaves him in the back, wondering why he's not booked. With Andrade coming out there.
And that's just it. Theory is a good talent, but he's also still really young. And the awkwardness. I mean, think about the caliber of talent that we are getting at WrestleMania, of just these guys. And at the same time, there's no crowd to feed off of. There's no that kind of energy there. And you're performing still at that high level. So it's, I think, even more pressure to do that.
Yeah. I watched a match on YouTube from Raw the other day, and I just felt like I was at fucking practice. You know what I mean? Like, that's like you want to talk about practice.
Talking about practice?
Yeah. But you know what I mean? It literally just felt like fucking up at Hudson Falls, New York, fucking upstairs at the Boys and Girls Club, fucking like working. You know what I mean? Everything's on. You're just.
Is that when Tommy owned the ring?
Yeah, that was when Tommy fucking owned the ring, but he never. It was that whole ending of that story gets weird. We knew this guy. We both knew this guy. This is actually the guy that introduced Phil and I together, like fucking 15 years ago.
Something, yeah.
Crazy. But this fucking guy, he got his dad to buy a ring, and then he lent it to a bunch of wrestlers up in the fucking middle of nowhere. And like when I met you, Phil, the ring was in Schenectady, but then it went up to Hudson Falls. It was probably like an hour away from Schenectady.
Yeah.
And up there, training had happened for years. And then all of a sudden the Boys and Girls Club were like, all right, well, get the fuck out. We don't want any fucking scumbag wrestlers upstairs anymore. And then from there, this ring that this guy bought wound up in somebody's back fucking yard and just sat there for a year with getting like all the weather on it and just ruined. And this was like a high spots ring. So $5,000. Fucking, that's it. It's fucking
done.
It's done. That's it.
A ring that allegedly that he was just gonna give me one time. I don't even remember.
Phil, he was gonna give that ring to everybody.
Right. I was about to say, I don't remember why that was gonna be my ring, but I remember I knew people up there and they were like, yeah, Tommy still calls it your ring. And I'm like,
yeah.
why?
No, he did. He did call it that. But then it was JP Black's ring. I think I owned it for a second. It was like my stepdad's fucking convertible. Everybody owned that thing for a hot flash. It was like a way to manipulative collateral. Hashtag that. That's a sweet one. Manipulative.
Hashtag manipulative collateral.
Yeah.
Manipulative collateral.
Somebody write in the comments. I want to see what it looks like on the screen. Phil's like, no. All right, Phil.
Hashtag manipulative collateral.
Yeah. That's what those fucking crazy people do now. Or
so
I've always
Tim,
done.
For the Raw Tag Team Championships between Austin Theory and Angel Garza and the Street Profits. Where are you going with it?
Fucking Street Profits. Next match.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like,
it's like, fuck.
These two haven't been a team. Why would they give it to him?
These guys are funny. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So I will very blatantly say, I'm not necessarily going in order of what I think is going to be night one and what I think is going to be night two.
No, I know. I'm just making comments for myself as far as, when I'm saying that. I'm not saying it like, you know what I mean? When it's a single night, you know what I mean? Like I get where you're going with it and stuff, and I like it. I'm just coming up with just random theories in my head. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's all.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
So next up for the Raw Women's Championship.
Wait, so there's 18 matches on this card? Is that what the grand total is? Yeah, that's crazy.
And allegedly some swerves. There are
fuck it.
Right. There are rumors out there. I mean, and we all kind of thought, hey, with this being pre-recorded, we're probably going to get leaks of information. I will say they've done a really good job of keeping a very tight lid on what might be happening.
Because there's nobody fucking there, Phil.
Right. And I think that's just it. If somebody did spill the beans, it's only going to be a limited number of people who know what happened.
Yeah.
So, but still, like it is a little bit, in this day and age when we've been so used to the spoilers on pre-tape stuff that we're not really hearing anything with some small rumors. And so if we do speculate, I think I need to make clear now, like these are rumors of maybe some things or things that we're putting together, but not things that we like know because we saw the word online or know because a little birdie told us.
Right.
We're both from the business and we both understand the business. And if we speculate and we happen to get it right, which we do on occasion.
Yeah. Yeah. I will never back down that I called fucking fucking Becky Lynch becoming what she was. right here on this show. I fucking called that shit. I'm never going to drop that.
Well, speaking of Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship.
Segway!
Sorry.
Becky Lynch to defend her championship against Shayna Baszler.
Ooh. See, I don't know, Phil. This match is going to be fucking hot. This is going to be a hot match. Super hot match. Phil, do you want to go to the well twice on the whole promo game that we got here going on?
Hold on. I need to prep myself just a little bit more. Okay.
Oh, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Just call me smooth.
Oh, wrong song.
I was like, yeah, baby, we're getting at it now because the action. Sorry.
All right.
For the WWE Raw Women's Championship, the submission magician, Shayna Baszler, takes on the champion, the Queen of Spades herself, Becky Lynch. Who will walk away and who will be left standing?
I don't know what to say because I really don't know that much more about the match. Shayna Baszler wants the title shot.
Yeah. However, the fucking build-up has been sweet with her fucking biting Becky Lynch's neck. That was fucking everywhere. Everywhere, Phil. I'm pretty certain that Sports Illustrated fucking covered that. Because that was that fucking genius.
This is the first time these two will be in a singles competition. But yeah, they've been jabbing at each other and going after each other. Baszler has been a dominant force in women's wrestling in the WWE, and the foreshadow of her arrival has been talked about for years. Mm-hmm. That she's one of the four horsewomen of MMA.
Yeah.
She's a friend of Ronda Rousey's. Mm-hmm. Who, there's rumors of Ronda, lurking about somewhere in will we see the heir of Ronda come about somehow, teasing her return? That might, who knows about that? But between these two, it has been dragged out. It has really reached this potential level, and Baszler so far has been absolutely dominant, which leads me to think that Lynch is going to hold on to the championship because Becky's just been handed to her. Shayna's just been beating the tar out of Becky. So I'm saying that Becky's walking away with the victory on this one.
Oh, it's really interesting, Phil. It's really interesting that you're saying that because going back to my old theory on the big shows and everything like this, I really feel here, Phil. Gosh, I don't know why I can't talk, but I really feel here, Phil, that Shayna, they're going to put the belt on her because the money will always be with the face chasing the heel for the championship. So I think that she's had the belt for a year now, Phil. A year in this modern era. She's done more with this women's championship than I don't know who, Asuka before her. You know what I mean? And that was in NXT. Then Charlotte, she's done more than everybody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's time for them for a change. And I think the change is going to be with Shayna. I think that she's got everything that they need to have to be a big vicious heel, Phil. And you know what I mean? I think that it makes sense for this change to happen at this point. Who do you guys have? 518-350-4312. Give us a call. The phone lines are open if you want to chime in, unless you're listening to us on the podcast. But let us know who you guys have, or leave it in the comments, either on YouTube, Facebook, and if you're doing it with Twitter, just retweet it and we'll catch it later.
I'm going to start doing a Corona Anna.
I think he meant it like a Corona Anna, like a Hurricane Rana, but like a Corona. Frankie, did I get it? Give us some thumbs up so that way they come across the screen if I got
Corona Rana. I get it now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of I'm going to have a new finisher. It's called the pandemic.
Oh, gosh. Or the ventilator, Phil.
Or the vaccine. Yeah, it's all there. It's going to be there for like the first year we're out of this.
Yeah. The COVID-19. The COVID-19.
Right now, that'll be a tag team.
Oh yeah.
That's a great name for a tag. The COVID-19.
I did see a meme that was funny. It was like R. Kelly. R. Kelly is trying to get out of jail because he's worried about the coronavirus, and somebody wrote, "Oh, but if it was the corona or the COVID-15, you wouldn't have an issue with it, though, right?" It was like, "Whoa."
What? Yeah, I don't think you're wrong, Jim.
Yeah.
So next up for the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
Current reigning champion Sami Zayn, escorted to the ring by Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, will defend against Daniel Bryan and with Drew Gulak at his side.
Interesting. Very interesting. I think this is gonna be a great match, but what a fucking waste of Shinsuke and of Cesaro and Gulak. You know,
right? I mean, this is like, why? Let's make these 5 a stable. Like, let's put all of them together in a group and like let them all just run roughshod over. Like the Monday night after Raw. Forget what happens here.
Yeah.
The Monday night after Raw, like what they tried to do with Nexus and any replica of an NWO. Let this be the submission stable. Let this be the was it 4-year not declaration? I can't think of the right word. But basically, the statement group. Let these 5 come together. Let them run roughshod over the WWE, and let Cesaro be your champion and Daniel hold the Intercontinental Championship.
Phil, we're actually getting a phone call right now. Hi, you're on the air.
I'm hearing us.
Are you on the air? You're on the air.
Yeah, it's me. Hi, Phil.
Who's me? You can't just say me.
Yeah, Scott Clayton.
Scott Clayton.
Oh, hey,
Phil?
Scott. I was about to say, it's hard to hear off a phone through their microphone, through my headset. So hi, Scott Clayton. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And it's Scott Lee Clayton.
Scott Lee Clayton. Yeah. Scott, what do you got?
I gotta say, Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan could very well be one of the matches that steals the show for one of the nights.
Yeah, we agree.
It's just with the history in Ring of Honor, it really could show what they could potentially do in the ring with this match.
Right? Yeah.
So, I mean, hypothetically, I think Zayn will retain, but part of me says that Bryan could come off with the win.
Definitely could come off with the win on this one. But who do you have? Who do you think is going to go over in this match here?
For that match,
the other match that you and I were just talking about. For this match right here, who do you have going over?
I have Daniel Bryan.
Okay. And why is that? Where do you see it going?
I think Bryan is a good match for Sami Zayn, and I think Bryan would have another good run as the Intercontinental Champion.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's time for a change then?
Yeah, I think the belt will change and Bryan will go over.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And Phil, he's going with Daniel Bryan on this one. Phil, do you agree or do you disagree with him on that?
I do agree. I mean, if you think about how this match all really came together, Zayn sort of shotgun won the Intercontinental Championship when he was in that role of a mouthpiece, and everyone's going, "Why is Zayn doing this?"
Yeah.
And now he's the Intercontinental Champion. In almost any other circumstance, I would say, it's too soon. It's too early. This is WrestleMania. You changed the game. You put Daniel Bryan up.
Right.
Bryan's doing a whole new gimmick with Drew Gulak right now. I say it's Daniel Bryan goes up with the Intercontinental Championship, put the wrestling back in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Let Daniel Bryan's next match be one-on-one with Shorty G and let them have a classic.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I like it. I like the whole thing. But how long has Sami Zayn really had the championship for?
Not long. A month and a half.
Okay, so full-fledged transitional champion in that sense.
I hate to say it as that, but unfortunately, I think so. Yeah, I think that in this case, it'll be a very short championship reign for Sami Zayn.
All right, yeah, you know what? I'll back you guys up on this one. I'll go with it. I think that I think that Sammy's great. There's nothing wrong with him or by any means or anything like that. But yeah, maybe this was just a ploy to get the title back on to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan he's another one of these big, heavy names, you know, on the biggest show of the year. Phil, WrestleMania.
Oh, what did I hit? I hit something, Phil. Phil, I hit something. I kind of broke it.
Apparently, you're hitting a little something there.
Oh my lord, here, Phil. What did I do? WrestleMania.
So
what did I do?
Phil, so basically, yeah, I think that putting the championship on Daniel Bryan now, is Daniel Bryan a heel or a face right now though with Drew?
People like him.
He's a tween right now.
I'm gonna say he's a face because people don't like Sami.
Yeah. I guess if you put him against Sami, then yeah, you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying face. Change the shape of the company. Put these 5 together. You know what? Put these 5 together with Killer Cross. Let them run roughshod.
Put masks on them all and call them the Dark Order, right?
I almost
Where's Walt?
To be very honest, I almost did.
All right, Phil. What do we got next? How many more matches do we got? 27.
Right, exactly. Where are we? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 more matches left, so maybe you want to take a break? Do you want to do one more match and then take a break?
One more match and we'll take a break here, Phil.
Okay.
I want you to go with the Undertaker and AJ Styles, though. Let's talk about this one because this is what's going to be the
main event
of the first night. I feel it. it.
I'm going to disagree with you, and I have a reason that we'll get to when we talk about the other match that I think will be the main event of night one.
Well, do you want to go with your night one main event? Or
no, let's go with this. Let's go with this.
This is what's going to be night one of main event for me, for sure.
And I already have a half-point bet that I'm going to throw out there away.
Do it.
We're getting Biker Taker.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Is it because you heard the "Try Me, I'll Make You Famous"? Is that where you're pulling that from there, Phil?
In the promo where what was the phrase he used? Did he call AJ Styles an ass hat?
An ass clown. He said ass clown. Yeah. And somebody tweeted Jericho on that too, and was like, "Hey, what do you think of this shithead?"
And then Taker apologized.
Yeah, and he didn't have to. He's just funny like that.
And it was a joking apology. I mean, like everybody took it as a joke.
Right.
So 1-on-1, Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a boneyard match.
Yeah. This buildup isn't great because, you know, AJ Styles has always been phenomenal, pun intended. But the whole thing too is that he's really built up his whole promo skills ever since coming to the WWE. That was like probably the one thing that he wasn't really that great at in all the other companies that he was at. Obviously he's a fantastic talent and everything like that, but coming to the WWE, he really made his promos great. And this is the perfect example. Everything that he's done in this build up here has only made the Undertaker step up his shit too. You know what I mean? And the Undertaker is really just at this point, he doesn't need to do this. We all know this. Every single year, we're always like, oh, it's his last year, blah, blah, blah. But he's really just made himself such a chameleon. And he's that promo that he did where it was just the high and tight, where he said all of this stuff. Guy looks fucking great. Guy looks fucking young. You know what I mean? It's just, he does, and it's, you know, at the same time too, it's like, who do we have going over in this? You know what I mean? Gallows and Anderson are going to be there. Now, Phil, is there when the Undertaker, he made that comment that also said, wait till you see the unholy trinity that I bring with me. Do you think that he was referring to actual people or his two fists and his fucking head? Like he's going to just beat the shit out of him. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, oh, well, who's this unholy trinity? Is it Kane? Is it somebody else too? You know what I mean? Or is it him just fucking bringing these two? You know?
Well, it's so weird because as you think about, the fact that they're going to be in an empty building, pretty much having this match, the fact they're going to have this boneyard match, like, is there going to be, like, in my brain, I am seeing a cemetery set. I am seeing like zombies in the building, but at the same point, like, if the whole point of doing this way is to not have people in the building, and then you have people in the building, like, it's sort of the
right. And right with what you're saying too, my brain is jogging like, hey, are we going to, did they pre-record this somewhere else? Like backlot brawl, like Matt Hardy's whole shtick. You know what I mean? Did they do that somewhere else like that? And now they're just going to play it because fuck it, Phil, they're taping the whole thing anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's why one of the reasons I'm not sure if this is going to be the main event of night one, because you also have later a Firefly Funhouse match. Very similar kind of concept.
Yes.
And there is a rumor, again, fully classified as rumor because I don't think it's anything official, where I'm already hearing that the winner of the Goldberg match may go on into a triple threat for the other championship. Allegedly, maybe, possibly, could happen, sort of.
Huge asterisk right here.
Right. And again, I think it's just fan-based rumor, not really from anything.
Right.
So that's one of the three reasons I don't think that this might be the main event, because I think they might save it for night two because it is the bigger match. You have a similar match also on this giant event, too big for one night, and
it's huge, Phil.
It's so big. It's so big, Tim. God help me. And then, the definition of what exactly are they going to do in this boneyard match? And if there is a holy trinity, is it that we're going to get Biker Taker, Dead Man Taker, and Kane, like, or,
yeah.
Is it a new form?
Is it
of
Gray Undertaker, Ministry of Darkness Taker, fucking
right,
like Biker Taker? Yeah,
it's Taker, Kane, and Vince McMahon.
Yeah, exactly.
Corporate ministry.
Oh, gosh. Phil, who do you got going over in this match?
Oh, Taker. It's totally Taker.
You think?
I do think.
Yeah, I'm going to go Taker too.
Yeah. Why are we still talking?
We'll be nuts though, right?
I mean, it totally would.
Unless
it ain't happening.
Unless, Phil, the unholy trinity would be Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and AJ Styles are the three people that beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Okay. No. I just don't. Just no.
Hilarious. All right. We're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back. Maybe. We're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back. No? Okay. Nope. Okay. Cool. You know what? Third time's the charm, Phil. We're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Can't finish the show in just one sitting? No problem. Listen to this and past episodes of the Tim Zabriskie Show on demand on all major podcasting networks, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and the iHeartRadio app. It's perfect for the ride home.
Babe, what shirt are you wearing?
My Tim Zabriskie Show shirt.
Phil.
TM.
Tim Zabriskie Show shirts available now. $10. Phil. They may go up due to inflation. They may go up to $11.50. Times are getting tough, Phil.
They are.
Times are getting a little crazy out there, Phil. So crazy that we had to have WrestleMania on 2 nights. Right, Phil?
Yeah.
All right, Phil.
So damn.
Phil, I'm already tired, so this is gonna be great. What other matches do we have now, Phil?
We're gonna push through, Tim.
I
believe in you.
I believe in you.
We're gonna start off with probably what might be the opener of night 2, for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship, a 5-way elimination between Tamina Snuka, Sasha Banks, Naomi, Lacey Evans, and the champion Bayley.
Was that 5 or what did I count for? Tamina?
That's fine.
Tamina,
Sasha, Naomi, Lacey, Bayley.
Okay. Is there any build-up or
that's how I feel about this match, Tim?
Is there any build-up or did the booker just go into the back and say, "Oh, who else is who's not working yet? We have 4 people. We'll throw you in. We'll give you $10 and a hot dog."
Well, of course, Bayley and Banks are saying they're the dominant force in the world of professional wrestling. That the women's evolution is over. It's time now for the role models era of dominance.
Shut up.
Paige had an issue with that, who says that she was one of the true pioneers of the women's evolution.
Well, that's irrelevant because she's not even fucking wrestling, so it's fine.
Right. So she got other people involved to step up to the challenge in Lacey Evans, Tamina, and Naomi.
Did you see that Paige movie? Did you see that one?
I did not see the movie.
Oh, it was good. It actually was good. We enjoyed it. Yeah. It's all over everywhere
good.
now, like Amazon and Hulu and all those shit. So definitely check it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
This I just don't understand this match. Like,
it's an indie match, bro.
It feels a little bit like that. Okay, everybody wanted Bayley to go heel, and it just hasn't worked. Because I think she's healing the wrong way.
Yeah.
She's emo soccer mom, and it's just it didn't work when AJ Styles had that haircut. It's not working for her.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand where they want to go with it. I don't understand where she wants to go, or what she's really trying to say, or the person that or the competitor that she's really trying to be. So that being said, I'm gonna say that they flip and they put the title on Naomi because she's the only other one right now. Lacey Evans.
Naomi? You're gonna go with Naomi?
I'm gonna say Naomi because they have a lot of favor for her. I think Lacey Evans could also potentially be, but I'm gonna lead and say Naomi.
Okay, all right. I was gonna go with Sasha on this one. You know what I mean? I think that she's the only one that really is big enough to have that sort of name value that we're really looking for in this whole sort of deal. So yeah, I mean, it just makes sense to me, Phil. Sasha, and I think that's going to cause some issues between Sasha and Bayley, which will bring us to the role model breakup. You know what I mean? And also, it's only fitting because the two of them were fucking what was it last WrestleMania where they were quote unquote in the locker room kicking and screaming and crying because the booking was fuck you. just like fucking flat out. Fuck you. You don't deserve your spot if you're gonna be talking like that, all right? Shit. There's people fucking dying right now, and I know they didn't do it now, but let's be honest, Phil. You know what I mean? There's so many more people that'd be grateful. So it's like, of course, what's the company gonna do? They're gonna give them exactly what they want at WrestleMania. Sasha winning the championship.
Tell us how you really feel, Tim.
I am, Phil.
You are.
I actually am. Yeah, not bad.
I mean, Sasha, I do think it also makes a lot of sense, and it still doesn't take anything away from Bayley holding it, because if they keep them as friends,
right,
then Sasha wins. They still celebrate the evening, and they don't turn their backs on each other. So I could totally see that happening too.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
So next up, TM.
Yes, Phil.
We have The Miz and John Morrison defending the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships against The New Day and the Usos in a triple threat ladder match.
Wow. This is going to be a fucking fantastic match, Phil. I'm actually generally excited for this match. John Morrison, I was really worried about him coming in ever since he did, because I really felt like they weren't going to do anything with him. And I felt like it was just going to be a fucking waste, just like my boy Shelton Benjamin, right?
Yeah.
They brought him in. I was super excited about that. Fucking flop. But John Morrison, and I got scared when WrestleMania came, when John Morrison was like number 2, number 3, number 4, something like that. You know what I mean? Didn't really get the good pop. Fucking thrown out by Brock in like 3 seconds. I thought, all right, well, here we fucking go. Enjoy the rest of your contract. But if they're the tag team champions right now with the Miz, who's the Miz, I've really grown fucking fond of, just because he's such a what's the word? Not player, but he's a
I don't know the word you're trying to find.
It's not like I'm trying. I give up. But he's basically like he's an enterprise himself. That's not the word I was looking for.
Franchise.
But he's a franchise. Exactly. That's literally was the word I was looking for. But he's such a franchise player that that he's gonna be able to fucking do whatever he wants forever. And at the same time, we're still on that little nostalgia kick for the 13-year-olds right now by putting those two back together. You know what I mean? So it's nice. Now the other two teams that he's in there with, New Day, I really don't know if I don't feel like they're gonna really win the championship here. But the Usos are another franchise, a franchise tag team. Even through all the bullshit that they've had legally and outside of wrestling wise, inside of the ring, I think they're fucking great. And I think that nobody can really touch them at the way that they do everything. So who's going to go over in this match? Phil, who do you got?
This one is actually really hard.
It's hard, but it's going to be so good. This is going to be really gratifying. This is going to be the match that could steal the show.
It really could be, but
night
I think
two,
they're going to leave
night one.
Right. They're going to steal the match on night 2 because night 1 is Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn.
Right.
So I'm going to say Miz Morrison retain.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll change it. I think they'll leave it exactly where it's at.
Yeah, and I think that's fine for them to do. They don't need to change it. They don't need to take the belts off them. You know what I mean? But if they were, Phil, I would probably go with the Usos. But I'm going to keep it exactly the way you have it. Miz and Morrison.
I knew you were going to say Usos. I knew you wanted Usos.
I know. I do. I think
feel it.
But there's no reason. There's absolutely no reason at all for them to change anything yet. Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. What's next, Phil?
Next, and I'm putting this over all of the other women's matches, it's going to be Rhea Ripley defending the NXT Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair.
Ooh. I think it's Rhea Ripley.
What if they did the same thing that they did at WrestleMania 33, a mystery tag team added?
Okay. All right. Frankie, who do you got as this mystery tag team then? You know?
I'm trying to think of any recent hires by the WWE
or
becomes
recent
tag team.
Yeah, or recently gone or anything like that. Like
here comes the Rock and Roll Express.
Gosh. Those guys are the cockroaches of wrestling. In a good way.
You know what I'm saying? A good way?
Yeah. I remember doing shots of like when Fireball first came out and doing shots with them, and they're like, "Oh, this shit's fucking good." I just remember him saying it like that, like, "Oh yeah, this is fucking good."
This match
Frankie,
they've been building.
Frankie, who do you got for that tag team? Right, if we're gonna continue,
I'm gonna continue. If he jumps in, that's great. He'll jump in when he jumps in. I kind of feel for Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair won the Women's Battle Royal.
Okay.
They're not having. I think it's interesting that they're not having her touch either the Raw Women's Champion or the SmackDown Champion. That they're doing NXT. And again, in one of those, it was already being built as, that was my title before.
Yeah.
Since I've been on the main roster, I haven't touched it again. I've held the Raw and Women's SmackDown Championship multiple times. I want another shot at the NXT title. Rhea has not backed down. So, okay. Now she's coming up for her biggest, being on the biggest stage in the world of professional wrestling. I don't see Ripley losing it. And I keep hearing like the rumor of, they wanted to do right by Flair since she lost her WrestleMania moment last year.
Shut up. She's fucking business. Like that.
Her versus Ronda Rousey was supposed to be the main event, and Becky got in there because her pop was so big and she never belonged. But it made the money. So, hey, so this is to do a favor for Flair. And I'm like, I don't understand why this is a favor.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be an amazing match. I'm calling Charlotte Flair's going to win because of whatever sense of ownership that I think they feel that she has.
You're going with Charlotte Flair? Okay. Wow. I mean, Kyle is going with Rhea Ripley, and I'm going to agree with him on this one. I don't know what his reasonings are, but my reasonings here is that there's no what are we going to get Charlotte on NXT? No, that doesn't work. It's not a Finn Balor situation with Charlotte where she has to, like going to NXT would benefit her. If anything, it would downgrade her. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, I know at this point, because NXT is on USA and everything like that, just like all the other shows, there's really not a difference or anything like that. But there is, though. Charlotte is the kind of name that you want to have filling arenas of thousands of people, not just the. Why are you looking like the way you are? Your eyes were bugging out right there for a second.
Oh, they were? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I thought we lost connection or something. You scared the shit out of me.
Oh, I apologize.
No, you're fine. But to what I'm trying to say here is that Charlotte Flair is such a name that for selling tickets, it doesn't make sense for her to be back in the NXT arena to do that. So it doesn't make any sense for her.
But they're in the NXT arena filming.
This is a different situation, Phil.
I know. I get it.
But I'm saying in the future, once the pandemic goes away, you know what I mean? Who do you guys think? Give us a like, comment, subscribe, a share if you will. That'd be very nice. And give us a call, 518-350-4312. Give us a call on the old phone number that's like listed right down here, okay? And let us know who you guys have.
So next, Tim, in a last man standing match, Edge versus Randy Orton. Edge came back at the Royal Rumble.
No, and Phil, let's go to the promo music on this one, all right?
Okay.
All right. Actually, this will be cool. It's Jeff Jarrett's old team when he came back with the NWA deal for a second. I think this will be good. If it wants to play. Oh. All right, Phil, go ahead.
In a match made from yesteryear where two competitors, former friends and now current rivals, strive to compete against one another. And that music is super hot.
Isn't it good?
Edge.
You sound great, though. Keep going.
Edge. Feeling like he lost his opportunity at the Royal Rumble. Excuse me, Randy Orton, who feels he lost
You're losing it
at the Royal Rumble because Edge tossed him out when his back was turned. Randy Orton got a taste of his own medicine, not liking it the next night on Raw. Randy Orton crushed Edge's head in with a steel chair. And then Matt Hardy, another former friend, rival of Edge, challenged Orton and his behavior, leaving Orton to twice destroy Hardy, kicking him out of the WWE.
And we're
now,
out.
his own honor.
I think the cough signifies that you're done.
For his own honor.
You came in so good, though. I'm going to give you the old round of applause. You started that, and then I don't know.
I was thinking like Transformers.
We were losing it. Yeah, we were losing it at some point, but yeah. Wait, can we get some likes across the screen for Phil's fantastic performance on that? Really putting him up to the test on this.
We have like a viewer. Like, I'm sorry. Like, love me. Give me attention. I want
Give
it.
him some. For fuck's sake.
So Edge versus Randy Orton. This match has so much potential written all across it. I think the fact though that it's going.
Phil.
Oh yeah, look, there's 2 likes.
You got a couple. Yeah, nice.
The fact that this is going to be an opportunity for them to showcase what they have. That Edge hasn't lost a step. Orton hasn't lost a step. They've done really well, more or less protecting Edge through this to make sure he gets to WrestleMania. Edge, who didn't risk flying down, got into a pickup truck and drove down all the way to Florida. I see you going for something there.
I wanted to hit the clap, but it made a weird noise. I think that's fantastic. Nothing says fucking grassroots wrestling, right, Tim Cornette?
Yeah. There you go, Tim.
Well, goddamn! Stop at the Wendy's.
So, in a last man standing match, I'm not gonna lie, there's a little part of my brain, because even though Edge got his head caved in with a chair, Matt Hardy was beaten up and kicked out of the WWE by the violent action of Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton attacked Beth Phoenix. This is Edge's opportunity to strike back and to plant his flag in the ground of the WWE to show where he's at. I think though that they're going to do a Mankind Rock-esque finish in an empty arena match, and they're going to get the lift and
the
forklift and press it down on Randy Orton so he can't kick out. Something goofy. Edge will win, in my opinion, but I think it's going to be something goofier in that kind of vein that keeps Randy Orton from being able to get up. So my call is Edge.
Okay, well, with half of what you're saying, I want to elaborate on that more. This match is not going to be a technical Chris Benoit sort of fucking barn burner of a match here. This is going to be more of a Bret Hart saying he called the Triple H Undertaker match fucking before it even happened sort of deal, with the fighting outside of the ring, the working all, you know what I mean, like fighting in this part of the empty arena and then fighting in this part of the empty arena, which you're touching on here with everything that you're saying there. But the schmaz finish that you're going with, no, I don't think that's gonna happen, Phil. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that point. But what I do think is gonna happen is Edge is gonna do something fucking insane. Edge is gonna hit some huge fucking crazy spot where, dives off the stage and does a fucking spear or something like that. You know what I mean? Because that's what they're showing in all the hype videos, right? For everything too. You know what I mean? Between that and the rated RKO and all that shit. So I think that's really what it's going to be with the big finish and everything like that. Now, as far as Orton going over in the match, that's definitely not happening. I know you didn't say that, but at the same time, there's no reason for Randy to, you know what I mean? Like, everyone wants this huge nostalgia pop. We're still on that nostalgia kick. Not to mention, Phil, I really do think that they're going to be really getting their money's worth, right? Did you hear the kind of contract that fucking Edge got to come back?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh. I'll try to look this up, but real fast, but holy shit. Like Edge contract here. He's supposed to make 20 appearances a year and wrestle on 6 of them or something like that. And at the same time too, it's here it is. So $9 million here, Phil, for 3 years. Okay. And where's the rest of this here? Come on, just give me the fact. I don't give a shit about any of this other stuff. Just give me the money facts. Gosh.
And if that's it, I'm not opposed, because he's actually from the world of wrestling, does well, does entertain.
25.
I'm not overly opposed.
It's 25 total appearances with 3 matches per year.
Wow.
And that included the Royal Rumble as one match. So this WrestleMania, and then he's got one more, and it's It's $9 million over the course of the 3 years, though. So $3 million a year. So think about that. That's, they're gonna really get their money's worth and get all those nostalgia pops that they can.
Go for it.
Absolutely. Take that fucking money. Make that money. That's all we're talking about here.
So Tim,
Phil.
Now, in a Firefly Funhouse match.
Oh, do you want to do the promo?
Sure. Hold on. You know what? Before we start, this time I'm going to take a drink first.
Yeah, take a drink. I got to figure out which song to give you.
Have Pee-wee's Playhouse music in the background.
Let me type in Pee-wee's Playhouse. I was just going to go with the
Don't, because I think there's words on it, too.
All right. Well, forget that. Oh, wait. Rage WrestleMania 15? I don't even know what this is, Phil. Ready?
Let's go.
No. Can you work with this? Oh, no. This is better. Here we go. No? Okay. All right, let's go with the first one. All right, go ahead. Go. Ready? Restart.
John Cena, the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion. He's fought them all. Except The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Can John Cena survive in the Firefly Funhouse? Find out at the WrestleMania Too Big for Just One Night.
Perfect. Nailed it, Phil.
This Saturday and or Sunday.
Or on demand whenever you have time. Do it on your own time.
Watch it on YouTube.
Watch it on YouTube later when somebody streams it because they don't know how they don't have $10. Okay.
Available on independentwrestling.tv. I mean,
for fuck's sake. Phil.
Whoa.
What?
I'm listening to the music. I thought it was saying F Cena.
Oh, see, once again,
not what it was saying.
Once again, the music was already turned off for everybody else. So, Phil, John Cena, this new guy, just kind of started recently, right? Really has been getting over with the fans and everything like that. I see a huge potential for this guy in the future.
I don't think he's reached the potential.
That guy, you know what that guy's got, Phil? He's got
ruthless aggression.
You know, I really enjoyed that whole document or that whole series that they did. But at the same time, Phil, it was like, if I have to hear fucking ruthless aggression, like from John Cena, like, because they're playing it like 12 times in one episode. It's just like, stop. We get it. He said it, and then he fucking almost got fired, which is a sweet story that he tells in that thing if you haven't seen that yet.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, you watch that whole little mini series that they did. It was so good. They're making more for September. It's fantastic. Yeah, he talks about how he almost got fired because he wasn't over. It's cool. It's actually really cool. For sure. But Phil, let's talk about this whole flop of a guy named Bray Wyatt, where they had him. He was great. And they put the belt on him. Everyone was happy. And then they made him lose to a 75-year-old man in like 3 fucking seconds. You know? Guy almost got murdered because of the 75-year-old man that shouldn't be doing this anymore. Everyone has their time that comes. For me, it happened when I was 28. But
I'm not going to say the name of the place where this happened. And if you do, don't say it.
Are we not allowed to say it?
Well, no, what I'm about to say. So I was at a place where Goldberg did an autograph signing. And this particular place has brought in a number of other named talent to do autograph signings. And
is this the place where you're a commissioner of, Phil?
I'm not going to respond to that.
Oh, okay. Are you not on good terms with them right now, Phil?
No, I'm on great terms with that particular company. This place I'm talking about.
I don't know why you're not wanting to talk about it then.
Because what I'm about to say is really negative about Goldberg. And I don't want to fall in the company for that because of my association. Okay. So
go back into the archives because Phil mentions this company on every show, so it's fine.
I mean, I'm only on like a half a dozen companies on a regular basis.
Oh, okay. He's on the one he mentions the most. But okay.
Actually, probably not. But anyway, so Goldberg comes in to do an autograph signing. It is the lowest attended autograph signing we've ever done for a headliner.
Wow.
And he was one of the most expensive people we've ever brought in too, who was a headliner. And even before we brought him in, I'm like, I don't think he's that worthy of it. And we were really only that crowd was really only a wrestling crowd.
What was he asking for? 10?
No, I think it was much more than that. To be
Really?
honest. A lot more.
Wow.
And I think from the business manager's mouth, it was the first time we've ever lost money on an autograph signing.
Wow.
And it was just all over the place. And I don't know. I just didn't get a great read for him as a person. And then because it was after that he went back to the WWE. And even when he went back and he cut some of the promos he did and he talked on different interviews, it was like, okay, great. You're coming back for 5 seconds of glory. You're going to make some money. They're going to make some money. Okay, fine. Like, okay, then leave. This coming back, he did bad at the first time in Saudi. He goes back. He still does bad. Here's the championship. Live long and prosper.
But but you can't blame him for that. Like,
oh, I do. I totally do.
You blame him. You blame him for them putting the belt on him.
Yes and no, because at some point, yes and no. Of course, if they're turning to anybody and they're like, "Hey, Phil, here's $10 million. We're gonna need you for 3 spots in the next 2 years. Take it or leave it." Okay, yeah, I'm totally gonna take it.
Yeah.
So not necessarily
that's not on him.
Right. At the same time, like, why is WWE thinking that Goldberg is the savior? He wasn't the savior when he was in WCW. He was he had that rush of the kids who loved him, but the adults didn't like him. And then he goes to WWE, and him and Brock were booed out of the company in their final match in the mid 2000s.
But that had nothing to do with. I think that had more to do with they both were leaving, so nobody gave a fuck. I don't think that had to do with.
But if you listen to the commentary at that WrestleMania, they bury him on the way out the door. And they were both leaving, both Brock and Goldberg, and they buried Goldberg out the door.
That's still WCW fucking bullshit, though.
Right.
Know?
But that's just it. Like, he never rose above the WCW bullshit. He's that guy that believes his own hype. And I'm like, I don't like that in a personality. I don't like that in a gimmick. I'm like, to that kind of respect. So if it is a gimmick and it's just his persona, it doesn't sit well with me. If this is his real life, and I kind of feel like it is, like, why? I just don't. It doesn't translate for me. Anyway, to go back to the match I was originally talking about with John Cena and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I'm going Wyatt. It's a Firefly Funhouse match. Give him this one. Please give him this one.
Yeah.
For the same reason we're talking about, like, hey, John Cena is now a part-timer.
Yes.
Cena himself was the guy saying, like, hey, you shouldn't do this for part-timers. And now he's a part-timer a very short time later.
And there's no pop to get from the audience because there's no fucking audience. Give it to Bray Wyatt because he's the one that's going to be there on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm with you.
And again, like, are they going to do this crazy set with Firefly Funhouse? Is it another place that they're going to film it at and then air it? Who knows? So I'm going Wyatt on this one.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you on that one. Cool. Who do you guys have? Give us a call. 518-350-4312. Wherever you're watching this, make sure you like, subscribe, and share if it's on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. And so Phil, what do you got next? What's the next match that we have here?
Next up, we have let's go for the Universal Championship.
Okay.
Let's go Goldberg, right now announced as defending against Roman Reigns.
I forgot.
Both Triple H and Roman Reigns have publicly said Roman Reigns is not competing in this match. Even in the Wikipedia entry, it made a reference that Roman Reigns is not going to compete because of his concern with his immune response because he was still coming out of leukemia treatment.
Yeah.
Or hasn't been enough significant time for his health to restore in that respect. In Wikipedia they were like, and Roman Reigns confirmed this, and I'm like, no, he didn't. I watched the video where he's like, you all don't know what's happening to me in my life or who I live with or the older folks that I meet with in my family on a regular basis.
Right.
I'm not putting their health at risk. So I don't think he did say it was anything about his health. But allegedly now it's going to be Braun Strowman. But I've also been hearing this rumor of that whoever walks away in this match, if it is, because they've not confirmed it's Goldberg and Braun Strowman, but if it is Goldberg and Braun Strowman, that the winner of that match will go on to face Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre in a 3-way.
Okay, well, I'm going to go half a point here and say, just kind of based off everything that just kind of piecing it all together, that the replacement is going to be Triple H. I feel like that would be really fucking sweet, right? He's not booked on anything else here, Phil. Right?
That is true.
Fucking the guy just got demoted, which I think is a bunch of fucking bullshit, because he fucking even made a joke about it on TV, right? That he got demoted. Not fucking true. I think that Triple H is another important character in Goldberg's WWE career, right? With everything, with how they built that whole feud up back in the 2000s, and Triple H can still fucking go. He's the perfect candidate to take the belt off him. You know what I mean?
So let's just say not Goldberg is the winner.
Not Goldberg. Love it. Yeah. But half point if it's Triple H, though.
Yeah.
Half point if it's Triple H. I'll take that.
And then your main event
of the whole thing.
Of the whole thing.
All right, here we go.
It's now time for our main event.
For the WWE Universal Championship, your champion, Brock Lesnar, defends against Drew McIntyre.
Fucking Ivan, so excited for this match here, Phil. Not even lying.
Tell me why, Tim.
I just think that Drew's got everything I look for in a fucking gladiator sort of champion. All right. Mm-hmm. He's fucking huge. He's a big fucking dude. Looks like $1 million fucking bucks. You know who he looks like to me is he looks like Brad Pitt in fucking that Troy movie. Do you remember that movie back in the day?
Yeah.
With the son of Troy and all that shit. You know, yeah. He looks like that fucking sort of gladiator. He came out at fucking WrestleMania, or not WrestleMania, because that's this weekend, but Royal Rumble, and just fucking his whole demeanor was so fucking money. And you know what I mean? Even him doing interviews after, like fucking rocking a leather jacket and shit like that. He's the reason why back in the day, you know, Vince, what was the name that they gave him back in the day? It was like the
Chosen One.
The Chosen One. He wasn't then, but they weren't wrong, because look at him fucking now. You know what I mean?
So for a lot of these matches, and as we're talking, I'm looking into like WWE.com and just sort of seeing how, like, what they're saying and the wording they're using. And some of it's been very interesting, because I think for some of these matches, whoever has been the writer, there's been a few misspellings and a couple bad grammar things. That's a whole other thing.
Do you want to do it for the last time? Fucking
no. Well, let me say this point, and then sure. That, how do I even word this? This is the first write-up that feels like it's had to go through Vince. That somebody higher wanted to have these things worded, and it tells to me a very different story than what we've seen played out in front of us. That in front of us in the last couple of months, Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar throws out half the roster in the men's Royal Rumble. Finally, Drew McIntyre, with help from Ricochet, is able to kick out Brock Lesnar. We forget about Ricochet and all of this. And Ricochet, not listed for a single damn match at WrestleMania, by the way.
Crazy.
Brock Lesnar, pissed off, mad, wants to take it out against Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, no, I'm standing up. I'm the guy. I'm the man who's going to be the culmination of all these things in the WWE. This write-up goes, Drew McIntyre is finally on the verge of becoming the chosen one, as Mr. McMahon once prophesized. When is the last time WWE wanted you to look back from 10 years ago to go, wait a minute, remember I said he was the chosen one?
Yeah.
The former 3MB rocker. Why would you want anybody to remember that stage in his career?
Yeah, no.
And to me, that reading that says more to me than anything I've just watched on television. I'm changing my decision from what I thought I was going to say. I'm saying Brock Lesnar is winning this match.
What? Really?
I didn't think so until I read that. And for just the fact that they reference 3MB, they're trying to put down his accomplishment.
No.
I am saying he is not going to win the championship at this time.
No, Phil, you gotta look at it like this. All right. The whole thing is that we tell stories. All right, Phil, we tell stories. So they're building up how this guy was a fucking epic failure. They're building up that he was they prophesized him to be the next big thing, Phil. Pun intended. However, he was a flop, and he left and he came back. He reinvented himself, and now that poor young boy became a man. I don't know when I'm going to stop talking like this, Phil, so you're just going to have to listen to it for a little bit. But the whole thing is that, Phil, seriously, they're doing that to build that narrative. And you're right. If for the other ways that they've been, coming up with these random descriptions, like, oh, the feud that no one's ever wanted to see, or whatever the fuck, right? When they were talking about the other match, and then doing all this is because it goes all in that same line of the boyhood dream has come true for Shawn Michaels. They're just trying to do that with him now by saying, like, oh, look at this fucking guy and how laughable his career is to be in this big fucking strong fucking hero that's gonna take down the beast. You know what I mean? I'm going with Drew. If you're not sold on me doing this yet, that's what we're doing here, Phil.
I want to be for it. Before I read that, I totally 100% was going to say Drew, and reading that told me such a different story. I'm going to say it's Brock. I don't want it to be. I think that's what WWE is going to do.
All right. Well, Phil, we can agree to disagree, but just remember that this whole card, both nights together,
is worth double points.
Double
points.
So tired, Tim.
Are you tired?
Tired, Tim. We've been on air for over 2 hours.
Oh, this is our longest one. We had to do it all in one night. That's the whole thing, Phil. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out, joining me and Mr. Phil right here on the Tim Zabriskie Show. Wherever you're watching this right now, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. If you're watching this on the Facebook channel, follow us for sure. Over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/TimmyZ4674. That's where we are available there too. And if I don't see you, Phil, catch me outside. How about that?